Hey y'all, my name is Corey Armbrecht. 10 years ago, I tried to put the government online when we had a government shutdown. Didn't do a very good job pitching it. 2 years ago, before the Senate hearing, with a UAP Senate hearing that we hadn't had in 50 years, with Bray and Moultrie giving us their bullshit, a month before that happened, I went out and tried to go on the went on the road and talked to thousands of people and woke people up to the fact that we've been behind an 80-year narrative. Okay? I had to go face to face with people, grassroots, because I was already being shadow banned. I already knew it then, and it's even worse now, and it's getting even worse with the new CEO of you know what. Anyways, continuing. The same deal now. I'm seeing it on Reddit. I'm seeing it with Twitter. The shadow ban is real, okay? I use hashtags UFOX, UFO Twitter, and I've had 50 hits on it since last night. Dude, this is a hashtag that's used by almost 1 million people, probably 1 million people. This is a topic that everyone is talking about right now, and it's being muted. It's being controlled. Information is being held back from not only the American people, but humanity. So it's time to talk about that, all right? So I'm going to run through this thread really quick, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we need to. Okay, so last night, UFO Joe said, he's quoting Ross Coulthard, who said, "I can tell you, Representative Anna Paulina is pissed." And I'm just like, okay. Like, we've all been pissed for as long as we've known about the UFO shit, which has been years for every one of us, okay? And if we're really talking, like, we're just standing on the shoulders of other people who've been pissed for 50 plus years, 80 plus years, since it started. Kehoe. Okay, anyways. So I said, look, Joe, that's great that Representative Luna is pissed. But we've all been fucking furious, and at least some of us, about this bullshit for a long time. Do something about it. Don't accept stonewalling. Get creative and work around the problem. I quoted, like, I was talking like I was the DOD, and I said, can't say we're doing anything illegal because we're legally preventing you from doing so. Talking about revoking David Grush's security clearances. And I said, shouldn't the act of stonewalling simply be illegal itself? I said, I've mostly given up, this is 2 of 7, I said, I've mostly given up on Marco Rubio and Senator Gillibrand, and certainly Lockheed-backed Schumer. They all appear compromised in their own ways. Because they are. They've known about this stuff for too long. We know that they have. The way that they're just working words to say the right things, to not say the right things. Can't even. And I said, Matt Gaetz and Representative Andre Carson are approaching it. If we don't hear the truth that we already know, hello, anyone who's done their research on this topic, at least enough, who's done enough research on this topic, knows this is bullshit. If we don't hear the truth that we already know, ET, extraterrestrial, then you're all just pawns for the DOD. You're all just pawns for more DOD funding. I said, and then I attached a picture to Christopher Mellon, which I didn't want to say this. I said, Chris, I don't believe in any of the progress of what we're seeing. I lost faith in our politicians long ago, and yet, even further over the past couple of years and months, we are completely compromised. I said this in my UFO presentation years ago. Plenty of people have seen the problem of hyper-compartmentalization. We've been compromised for 80 plus years. Eisenhower warned us about this. So we are completely compromised. Those bills will do nothing but redirect and obfuscate quite frankly, Chris, I don't want to say this because I've wanted to champion you and others. But if this is what it turns into, you are just a pawn for misdirection and obfuscation, or a knowing actor. If you and the others can't be more creative than the DOD BS, then that is what you are. It has to be that way, y'all. I don't care who your idols are. I don't care about the charlatans and your heroes. Who are... Oh, man, I can't even. The whole... Remember, I'm not saying who, triangle videos? I put out a thread of non-bokeh triangle videos, formations, and craft that hardly got any views because I know why the shadow ban's real, y'all. There's literally, and it's been admitted by
Are conspiracy
the
theories
CEO.
healthy?
It's freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. And we know that there's an Office of Perception Management. Our taxes pay for them to withhold information from us. Wake up!
Are conspiracy theories healthy? Freedom of speech.
So I had to call Chris on his shit. And I had to call Gillibrand, Rubio, and fuck Schumer. And I had to call all these people out on their bullshit. Continuing. 3 of 7. I said, and if not pawns, then you know the truth already. And you're gatekeeping. You're on DOD's timeline? That is unacceptable as the crime against humanity that it is. Nobody gets to decide what we choose to believe. Nobody gets to decide what we choose to say or think. Or what we decide to make decisions on from the truth.
Those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
Are you fucking kidding me? Truth's protective layers are lies. We're dealing with liars. Everyone's already said this, and it's obvious how bad it is, how deep the problem goes. It's not just the DOD. It's not just the MIC and their SAPs. For the people who might be listening who aren't in the echo chamber, it's not the Department of Defense. It's not the military-industrial complex. It's not just the special access projects, which don't have to answer to Congress. And it's not just Congress. It's the whole thing. The whole thing. We are dealing with liars from top to bottom. And it's completely, fundamentally altered the course of humanity and how we should progress. Free energy. Interstellar transfer. The climate change thing is bullshit. We've had free energy since the 1940s.
We haven't had to pump one gallon of oil out of the ground since the late 1920s. They've had free energy, but because of money, they've allowed
this
to be controlled. They've allowed us to pollute the environment, to devastate the oceans because of petroleum products, when we don't need it for money.
All right. So I said, this is 3 of 7. I said, and if you're not pawns, then you know the truth already. And you're gatekeeping. Look, the Gang of 8, Gang of 9, Rubio, Gates, all of them on the intelligence committees, they all know. And they aren't saying shit. You're on DOD's timeline. That's unacceptable. As a crime against humanity that is, you must act now and subvert this bullshit that Eisenhower warned us about. I put it in my presentation twice. Not just the quote where he says we must act against unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The disastrous rise in power will continue to persist. And it has persisted since Eisenhower. He was the one who saw it. He warned us. And nobody listened. He said, only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals. Yeah, that never happened. We didn't have an alert and knowledgeable citizenry. So I'm talking to James. I look at his tweet where he's talking to a Representative Andre Carson. And I said, I'm only 10 seconds in and I already hear gatekeeping.
Are people ready?
He says, are the people ready? Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? And I said, sorry for the heat first. Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate what you do for all of this to come about. But everything he just said sounds like gatekeeping. He sounds like a gatekeeper. And that the DOD hasn't figured out their plan to let us know the goddamn truth. 4 of 7. I said, I am sick of hearing about some new office or bill that's created that just obfuscates the truth and redirects transparency efforts. Create something unorthodox. If it's ET, and by the way, I put if in quotes because if anyone's done their research, which we have, it doesn't even take that much, from the testimony from astronauts, from presidents, from military leaders, from mass witnesses, from reports, from UFO videos. There is no way in hell that there is not extraterrestrial involvement. If, so I put it in quotes, if it's ET, whistleblowers are granted amnesty, rewarded, and protected to reveal data and proof publicly outside of Congress. Why do I say outside of Congress? Well, duh. All the past hearings, we've seen them say, oh, the DOD's stonewalling us, the DOD's stonewalling us. Yet we have people coming out of the woodwork saying we have craft and bodies of pilots of non-human
believe it or not,
origin.
as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
When it comes to the front, and we need this proof given to the public outside of a skiff, outside of a secure setting, oh, well, then the DOD revokes their credentials. So then Congress is getting stonewalled. But yet we're still funding them with billions and trillions of dollars? Of whose money? Ours. We're funding this problem, and it's not going to end. It's not going to stop with Congress revealing it to us. They are telling us straight to our face, this is a problem. We need to create some kind of pass for these whistleblowers to bring out data. I don't care. First off, this whole quote unquote, oh, well, we can't reveal things because of national security. What? Tell me what is going to be the problem. We already know publicly what satellites we have, the NROLs, that there's low altitude geosynchronous satellites in orbit. There's ones that are 1 million miles out that can scan the globe within seconds, no matter what location you need. We already know about the technology, so tell me, what is the national security implications that we have that are preventing Congress from telling the American people the truth? Because I'm sick of it. We don't get to give the DOD and the MIC and their special access projects more billions of dollars of our money to fund more war and more secrecy to lie to us. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. We are being kept this way. This is a crime against humanity that has gone on for a century. All right, 5 of 6, or 5 of 7. I said the crux of the matter is this: if there is knowledge or involvement with ET, no one, all caps, has the right to withhold that from humanity. Not military, not Congress. This is me speaking directly to Congress at this point. I said, you, Congress, I've got all these representatives tagged. I said, you, Congress, are higher than the military. And the truth should be given the way out without either of you in the way. Because at this point, the problem is so deep, it's so hyper-compartmentalized, the military is never going to roll over on it, and Congress can't do anything about it. 6 of 7. And this is where it all comes together. I said, so create a plan. Put out a department-wide, Department of Defense-wide, military-industrial complex-wide notice. 30 days for amnesty. All ranks, all positions, the military-industrial complex, the special access projects, all of it. Put out a bolo. Be on the lookout. You have 30 days. If you're involved in any way, if you know anything that regarding the topic of extraterrestrials, that's it. You have 30 days to amnesty. You're off the hook. But if you don't, and when the truth comes out, which it will, you will be tried for the highest crimes against humanity. Worse than whatever it ever could have been. The pressure is fucking on. Congress are their superiors. Congress is above the military. Congress tells the military what to do. I don't want to hear it that, oh, this officer didn't tell us because he was under orders. Bullshit. Congress tells them what to do. And who tells Congress what to do? We do. The people. We the people. So who are the real superiors here? We are. We pay their bills. All of them, top to bottom. Problem is, they don't know who's top and who's bottom. They're just 69ing each other. This is bullshit. Back to that last sentence, I said Congress are their superiors. If they do not say and show what they know and do, and it comes out later, this trumps their orders, and they are in criminal violation. Last one, 7 of 7. I said, but we the people are Congress's superiors. So in the same exact order, in the same notice, the same bill, you must include yourselves. This is where it all comes together, folks. You have to put Congress on the spot. You think they're reputable? You think they have integrity? You think they have honor? Then they need to put their names on the line. They need to show how honorable they are, how reputable they are. Same deal. They're just as responsible. You have Marco Rubio, you have Matt Gaetz on these highly classified intelligence committees. And yet, the military doesn't even have to answer to them. But they are informed enough that they know. You can tell by how they're speaking to us, by saying, are the American people ready? Get out of here. That is gatekeeping. And that type of gatekeeping is a crime against humanity. We've been held back. They're talking about climate change. We haven't needed oil for 100 years. We have free energy. We have interstellar transportation. We haven't been at war with each other for that long. We are kept this way on purpose. We haven't needed money. Let me ask you this. What use is our money to aliens? How in the world would they even evolve without it? Everything is just going to get blown out of the water, and they need this control and power. So we have to put Congress on the spot in the same bill that we're putting the military-industrial complex on. Same deal. 30 days for amnesty. Which really, this comes down to Rubio, Andre Carson, and Matt Gaetz, because they're, well, not Andre Carson, but because they're on the intelligence committees, and they know. And Schumer, get out of here. Schumer's backed by Lockheed Martin. So if these guys are so honorable, then they'll put their name on the line. But they won't. And when they don't, that shows their cards. We already know they're compromised. We already know. And we don't need another office, another bill to obfuscate the truth away. If we find out later that you knew, you are going to be tried for crimes against humanity of the highest order. And that's it. That's it. So this is what I need your help on, guys. So this is what I need your help on. I need y'all to understand the problem and the solutions that need to be created to fix it. Okay? We have to put Congress on the line. We have to put the intelligence committees on the line. And they won't do it. They're not going to put their ass on the line because they know. And we need to call that out. And if you can't see that, we're going to have a really hard time getting the truth out. Lastly, disclosure was never the right word. It never has been. Which is funny because I literally have that as a campaign point. I literally have that on my cards that I'm passing out to people. Disclosure. Disclosure was never the right word. You think the military has been keeping a secret for 80 plus years, a century. It's just going to roll over and be like, oh yeah, we've been lying to you. We've been killing people. We've been hoarding this information, obfuscating the truth away and hyper-compartmentalizing it. You haven't needed to be on oil. We can solve a lot of problems that we've seen. Interstellar transportation, free energy, haven't needed to go to wars, don't need money. You think they're going to do that? No, they're not. Disclosure is not the right word. That infers they will tell us something. No. We have to force it. So it requires putting a bolo out, be on the lookout, to the military-industrial complex, to the special access projects, to Congress, the whole thing. They have to put their names on the line. If they really care about us, if they are really going to put their lives on the line for us, if they're honorable people with integrity. Oh. Oh, there went my drone. If they really care, then we have to do this holistically. In one way or another, we're going to find out. We have to give these whistleblowers the protections they need to come forward outside of Congress, because Congress is in the way just as much as the military-industrial complex is. So help me make a bill, help force them to make a bill, or some law, or something. 30 days for amnesty. 30 days. You come clean on what you know, or what you've been ordered to do, what operations you've been a part of. Otherwise, it's crimes against humanity. That's it. Problem fucking solved. Lastly, if this is still going, I don't even know. I have been shadow banned so hard, and I'm still getting shadow banned beyond belief. The freedom of speech, not freedom of reach thing is so real. The Office of Perception Management is so real. It has been admitted by the CEO that there are people, there's a staff of people just sitting around focusing on specific people where you think people are hearing you and nobody is. And I have some proof. So please, tell me that you've heard something and that maybe you can take this idea and go further with it. Because this is all rehashing of ideas. We're all standing on each other's shoulders like an ant bridge trying to get out of here. Trying to go after the hornet's nest. The wasp's nest. We have to do this holistically. Anyways, love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. Here's to a new humanity.